right. It's our summer tech series. So this week we are covering a Canva. We're just going to talk about like the ins and outs of how to utilize and create things on Canva. Canva has come so far. Number one, since it came out, it's been one of my favorite platforms to do social media posts and stuff. So easy to use, even on the free version. So if you don't have a Canva account, you can just go to canva.com, canva.com, create a free account. They allow that. They do have some paid features on there. We actually have the paid account on it because of the fact that it allows us to do things like this under our brand. You can save things. So again, this is just the paid account. I don't necessarily recommend on a regular basis that everybody needs the paid account, but it allows you to save your brands in here. So you can save your logos, your colors, your fonts, all those things that you would utilize for your brand package. So if we pull that up, you can see that, waiting for it to load. So you've got all the different variations of the logo. It's gonna share, save your colors in there. It's got the Realty One Group Fox logos in there, all the different colors. And then also your font. So it makes it really easy to go in there and create things. But again, that's only on the paid version, and the free version is really sufficient. So that's the only reason that we have it is, well, that's the main reason that we have it. All right. So when you're on the home screen, you create that free account. You're on the home screen. I do have the chat window open, so I can see if you throw anything in that chat box. Otherwise, if you have questions as we move through this, feel free to just unmute yourself and interrupt me or raise your little Zoom hand. There's so many options in Canva though. So Canva started really with just creating things like flyers, postcards, social media posts. That was kind of their bread and butter. Now they've moved on. You can create websites. You can actually print products. So you can create postcards on here and send them out. You can mail them or just mail them back to yourself. They send you a little box like, but this is the business card box. So they send you a little Canva business card box. They're pretty quick on sending things back. So if you look, these business cards, they're nice. They're heavy duty. I don't like shiny, so I got the matte. They have rounded corners. So they make good products. I'm not getting paid by Canva. They probably should pay me, but they don't. You also get, they can do, oh, these are actually graduation announcements that we did on Canva. I was like, what boxes do I have in here? So see, you can do like graduation announcements. They can give you envelopes as well. They can do postcards where they just mail them out, or they would be something that you can hand out to your farm. We've also had things like they're now doing t-shirts, so you can have like shirts and apparel made. Remember, obviously check with your tax person, but if it's got a logo on it, it becomes a marketing expense instead of apparel, which becomes a write-off. I also I'm trying something new with my for sale signs for my houses. So I actually made custom for sale signs with a QR code on there that people can scan to get the property information. And I think it was like $60 for two of them. I think they're $30 a piece for the signs that I had made. So there's so many things that you can do through Canva. Magic. Now, I'll be honest, I do come in here and create things. Most of my slideshows that I use for our trainings are done on Canva. I prefer this over slides. It's just a little bit more user friendly. The other thing that I use this for is, I can't even think what I do. Let's see here. Oh, the posts that are on, that we're posting the group on Mondays with the quotes, that goes in here. My newsletter gets created in here that I email out to my database. So that gets created in here. I actually save it as a PDF and then send it out on Constant Contact. So many opportunities. You can do videos, you can do still things. So many opportunities. Abby, my assistant, does most of our social media stuff. I'll be honest, I'm in here very little now, but to get started, there's lots of different ways. There's this search bar up here. The nice thing is too, is it'll save your things. So if you're going to create like an open house flyer, you can absolutely, Jonathan, you can make listing and buyer presentations on here as well. So many things you can do. And it saves your designs. right? So that it saves, it pulls up all your recent designs, anything you've created. You can make folders. So if open houses is part of your lead generation, and as part of that open house, you need a sign-in sheet, you want a flyer, you want a postcard that you can mail out, you could create a folder, and then you could save all those templates into the folder so that every time you go to create your open house content, all you do is you click on your open house folder, and then you can have all your templates in there. So if I go here to projects, so I was on home on the left-hand side. Now I've clicked on projects. That's going to pull up just my designs here. And I can click, do I want all my projects? Do I want just folders? Do I want designs, brand templates, videos? What am I looking for? So you've got so much content there you can do. If I want to add a new folder, like if we were going to create that open house folder, or maybe just even listing marketing, right? I could hit add new here on the right-hand side. When I'm sharing my screen, just so you guys know, there's a little bit of a delay. It takes forever. My computer's not usually this slow. So I hit add new, and then I clicked add folder. Here it's going to ask me to name my folder. I'm going to call this listing promo. And I'm going to hit continue. Now it's created that folder in there. Oh, except I didn't call it. So it's listing pro.o because somehow I mistyped the M with a dot. So if I had templates in here, once I open this, you would magically see all those templates. So now let's go back. We're inside that folder. There's no designs in here. I'm going to click add design. And I want to make this is just, hold on. That's just moving stuff. So I'm going to hit add new up here. I'm going to go add design, create new. Okay. I'm just going to put open. Oh, we want just a flyer. So we're going to go flyer. Anastasia, I see your question about Canva Pro and setting up your brand. I can we have time at the end. I'll walk you through that. Otherwise we can connect afterwards. So notice I said create new flyer, and then it gives me all these options. Like, what kind of flyer do you want? Are you wanting a short flyer, like a postcard size? That would be like a half page. Are you wanting a full page flyer? Do you want it landscape, or do you want it portrait? So I want a portrait flyer for my open house. So I'm going to create that design.
How'd you get there?
We're just going to wait. I just went to add new. So I was inside my projects at that point, and I just hit add new. And then I typed in flyer, and then all my options for flyers came up. It's really lagging this morning. I apologize. Trying to see what else I had open. I think I closed most of my things, so we're just gonna have to wait patiently. My computer thinks it's overworked and underpaid when it has to stream onto our Zoom. All right, the first thing that I recommend that you do, which is the thing I always forget to do, is up here in the upper right-hand corner. That's where the title is, and then you want to retitle it. So I just clicked it. If I click off it, I think it'll go back to what it was. There, see, it says Untitled Design Real Estate Flyer. So I'm going to click on that and type in listing flyer. Okay, so I just rename it. I always forget to rename mine. And then they always show up as like untitled, or whatever the first thing is you put on there is, it pops up. Okay, so now that we have that renamed, we're going to scoot over here to this search bar on the right-hand side. We're in the template section right now, and we're going to look for a template. So we're going to look for listing, new listing. I like that one. Okay, so on the free version, you get lots of opportunities and options for free things on here. There are also going to be some paid things as well. So when you look at the templates, the ones with the little crowns, those are pro, which means you'd have to pay for them. Or if you update your membership to the paid version, then those are free. Of course, it's showing me all the pro ones. All right, so see how these don't have crowns on them? That means those are just free. So you can utilize those with the free account. So there's lots of things that you can do. And we're just looking for the basic design that we like the looks of. We can tweak it all we want. So I kind of like this one here. So I'm going to pick this one. So all you're going to do is click on it, and then it magically adds it to my window. We can, down here on the bottom of the screen, there's this little toolbar, and that allows you to enlarge that design. So we may want to like blow it up. I'm just going to click on that dot and drag it across to make it easier for us to mess with it and see it. So you can just adjust it there. Okay. So maybe the first thing that I want to do is I want to replace this here with my logo, right? Remember, with all first point of contact materials, they all need to have our names on them. They need to have Realty One Group Fox, the actual logo on it, and our license number. So did somebody have a question? All right. If we want to upload something like our Fox logo, I'm just going to come over here on the left-hand side. I'll figure out right and left here in a minute. I'm going to go to uploads here on the toolbar on the left-hand side. That's going to show me all the things that I've uploaded in the past. So if you've uploaded something, if you've already uploaded the Realty One Group Fox logo, it's going to be in there. Otherwise, we can upload it from our computer. No. I don't know what it would have been called, so I don't know how to find it. That's not it. All right, and I probably don't have it on my computer, so I'm just going to scroll for a minute down to the bottom. If you wanted to upload it, we would just click the upload files button, and then it'll give you the opportunity to drag the file that you want over, or you can hit browse and find it on your computer. Okay, I'm just going to put this Cyberback or NorCal logo on there just so we have a logo. So I'm going to click on this. My mistake was that I didn't replace the existing one, but that's all right. In fact, let's, hold on, we're going to delete that. All right, so if I click on this box here, and then I click, oh, you know what? I don't think that'll work on this one. See, I told you it's been a while since I've messed with it. All right, so what you want to do is you want to click on this logo. We can drag it over here. Oh, because this is a picture. Okay, up here, I'm going to replace this one. In fact, let me try that again. Give me just a second, because I think I know where my error was. If I click on, now I'm going to have to find a different logo. Hold on. We're going to keep scrolling down. Okay, this one's the black one. All right, so I've clicked on the picture. The problem was that I had the text clicked on. You can't switch out text with a picture like that. But now I have the image clicked on. So if I click on this one, nope, it still didn't do it. I thought it would replace it. No, it hates me. All right, that's all right. But what you can do is you just click the image over here, and we drag it over to the image that we want to replace. See how now it's got the black Cyberbacker logo in there. Obviously, the logo is too big for that space, so I'll have to adjust it here in a minute. If you just click on the image over here on the left-hand side, if we just click on it, then it just throws it onto your flyer anywhere, and then we can click and drag it around and put it wherever we want. Okay. So to come back to this one that I switched out, that the box wasn't the right size, all we do is we click these little things on the side of the box to expand that box out to make it big enough to fit the whole image that we put in there, so you can readjust the size. Okay, I'm going to take this. If we wanted to change out this real estate, maybe we wanted our name on there, I'm just going to double click that text box, and I'm just going to put Amy Petard. Okay, And then if I wanted to change the text in this box, there's a couple different options because I was clicked inside this box at the end of the D. If I make changes up here on the text toolbar, it won't necessarily change all the text in that box. If I wanted to change all the text in that box, I'm just going to click off the text box and click back on it. Or I could have highlighted everything inside. Now, if I make changes to the box, it's going to change all the text inside that box. So maybe I want to change fonts. That's just over here on this font drop down. It'll show you the other fonts that are already in this document. So if you want to keep your fonts consistent, it allows you to be able to do that. So I'm just going to click on Quicksand. See it moved it over to that. Maybe I want it script, or maybe I want it in the Roxborough that it started with. If I want to change the size, I can just do that here with the little plus and minus, or I can click on this and it highlights it and I can type something in and then hit enter and then it'll resize it. So those are the different ways that you can resize any of the text on there. Okay. If, so this logo, we'll zip back over to that. All right. So I'm clicking on this logo. I'm realizing it's still not showing all the logo. So I want to drag it over just a little bit, but now it doesn't fit this circle. So I have two options. The first option is I can shrink that logo down. The way to shrink the logo down is I've been pulling on these long skinny buttons on the sides. If I click on the corner buttons, then it'll shrink it proportionally, both horizontally and vertically, so that I can shrink that down to fit inside without cutting off any part of the logo. Okay, the other option that I have is I can resize this circle. So let's make that logo bigger again. And then let's say that I want to resize the circle. I'm just going to click on the circle, click on that corner spot, and I'm going to enlarge the circle so that the logo fits. And then I'm going to drag, just click and drag on wherever I want these to go. Okay. There you go. Okay. Now on this, let's see, we'll go back to the font. Let's finish our font options. This A here is the text color. If I click on that, it's going to open up the color box here at the top. It always gives me my options of what's already in the document. Okay. If I want to change up the color, I could click on this add. And I could click this little dropper here. So maybe I want to pick up the blue on the wall that was in that picture. I can click the little dropper. Come over here. There we go. See how it's now picking out different colors in this photo itself. So I can click, hey, yeah, I want that blue color. I've clicked on that. Now it's added that blue color into my document choices. Otherwise, what I can do is I can scroll here for different colors. I can move this around for the different gradients. You can, even if you have the color code, like our Realty One group on the style guide has all the color codes for the logo, the Realty One group golds and blacks and grays and stuff. You could actually type that in right here and it would pull that color up for you. Okay, so that's how you're going to change colors, and then you just click on it and it'll change. Like it just changed that font color to the white and now it changed it back to the blue color. I'm going to actually pick, let's see. If we had your brand assets in here, or you had the Realty One logo already in here. Oh, that's not what I wanted. This one. All right. You can select that. And then maybe I want that text to be gold. So I can make it gold. Okay. If we wanted to change this background color, we just click on this green color here. Now that's highlighted. Here's the color option. Oh, I didn't finish the text. All right, well, we'll go on with this. So I've just clicked on this green background color. It's just a big square that they've shaped a photo around. So I'm going to click here on the color. It's going to bring up that same color. And now it's got document colors because I've introduced that gold. So maybe I want that gold, or maybe I want it to be black, right? So many options there. That you can do depending on what color you wanted it. If I wanted there to be an outline, that would be this border style here. So you could choose your border weight, the different style, whether it's dash, dot, solid line, right? How fat you want it, and if you want the corners rounded or squared off is what these options are here. This position button for that gives you, do you want it to move forward or all the way to the front? So if I move this all the way to the front, it's going to take over everything on the thing, because now it's the furthest forward when we think about layers. Okay, so if I want to get it back to where it was supposed to go, we can have two options. We can say, hey, just send it all the way to the back. Or if we were in the front and I just send it backwards, it's going to take it one layer at a time and go backwards until it's in the position that I want it in. So see how it's adding new things each time, and now it's in the back. You can align it to the page as well. So if there was something that I wanted on the top of the page or the bottom of the page or specifically in the middle, we could choose those. And then these are the left, right, center. Okay, so you can adjust that placement there. The advanced is how big do you want it, right? And where do you want it placed, or do you want to rotate it? If I click this little box here, this ratio box, now what happens is if I change the width, it's going to automatically change the height so that it stays in the same proportion as it is currently. So it's not going to distort a photo. Okay, if I unlock it, then I can change these both individually. So that's how you kind of edit those color blocks. All right, let's go back to the font here. We bold, italic, underline, strike through. Here's where you can change it from uppercase to lowercase. So see how that it came in all caps. Maybe I don't want it. Maybe I want it like regular font that way. This is the alignment for the text. So it goes left. This is justified, where it's going to make everything. If you had a paragraph, it's going to line it all up on both sides. This is the right justification, and that's the center justification there. If I wanted to add bullets or like a list format, that's that next button. So now I added a bullet. Anytime you do something, you don't want it, you've got a couple options. You can hit this little back button right here on the top blue screen. Or if we want to redo something, you click it there. The other option is that like this is Command Z on a Mac to undo, so I wouldn't have to hit the button. That's what I've been doing. So if I went and said, hey, I want that bulleted, oh, I didn't like that, I just hit Command Z on my Mac to undo it. If I wanted to redo it, I can just hit that redo button again. Okay. Let's see here. This is the line spacing. I play with this one a lot. So line spacing is how far apart do you want the letters, and then how far apart do you want the lines from each other. So if I wanted to space those letters out more, it drags them out. And now it's taken it to 2 lines because I ran out of space. So maybe I want the lines further apart. If we just do that, see, it separates out the lines. So you can play with that and adjust it. If you know kind of where you want it, you can just type it in and hit enter, and then it'll automatically plug that in instead of having to mess with the spacer. So if I wanted the line spacing at 0, we could put it there, or maybe I want it at 1, right? Okay. This is where you want it anchored in the text box. Okay, so if we had a larger text box, do you want the text anchored at the top of the box so it starts at the top line of the box? Do you want it centered in the box, or do you want it on the bottom line of the box? So those are what those options are there under the position. Let's see here. This is the format. So if I wanted to copy this format to another text box, I could use that button there. All right, so let's go over to this picture. So now I've clicked on the house picture because obviously that's not the house that I have listed, although it does look like one that I previously listed, which is kind of interesting. If I wanted to replace that, I'm going to replace it with this one that's not, there was a pool photo there. Look at that. All right, so I'm going to take this pool photo. Again, you can upload files from, so if you have those photo files, we just hit upload. We go and upload those photos. I'm going to click this one, drag it over here. So see how it replaced that? It positions it into that. That means I'm in the right spot. If I let go of it, it just replaces that photo. If I would have just clicked on this photo, it's just going to pull it into the image like that. And then if I'm like, man, I messed up, you can drag it over that photo. And once you get it in the right spot, this is going to be a difficult one to do because of the positioning of it. it will take over eventually, or you can just delete it or undo and then do it again and again. Click and drag it over until it. So see, I'm just dragging it. Now it's the whole page. I'm like, no, I just want you in the little one. So there, it just took over that little one. Sometimes what I like to do on my listing photos is I like to mess with the transparency of those photos. So the way to do that is right here. So on your photos, you've got edit image, flip. Well, in fact, let's mess with those first, then we'll come back to transparency. So if we hit edit image, it's going to bring up our edit studio, which allows us to crop the image. It allows us to adjust, or it allows us to add effects to it. So this is the background remover tool. There's a magic eraser tool. There's a magic grab tool. So you can go in there and play with all of these things. They're really fun to mess with. They have automatic like filters on them. And remember, we want to be consistent in our marketing with using the same filters everywhere we go. So if you're going to pick a filter, it's almost better to stick with that filter. And you can adjust the intensity of those filters. Okay, so I've clicked on a filter of ball, and then I can take and adjust that here. If I want to adjust a photo, you can auto focus it. You can do a face retouch. We can blur the photo. So if I blur this photo, I can change the, right now it's on brush. So I could just blur certain sections of it, and I can adjust the brush size and the intensity of the blur. So maybe I just want to blur the tree. So see how it just blurred that section of the photo that I messed with. If I want the whole image, I just click whole image. It's going to blur that whole image. And then I can adjust the intensity of that blur. Right? So that allows you to create background images. So right as we're doing like social media posts and different things, oftentimes you'll find that I do like a little bit of blur. If I'm doing a social media post with a listing, I'll kind of put like the main photo on there, but blur it just slightly, just so the text stands out on that social media post. Okay. If we don't like what we've done, we just hit remove blur, and then it takes it back to normal. And then we can go back with the little back button there to the edit image. All right. So that was the effects. Sometimes where this comes into play is if I've got like a black and white image, like a black with image with no background. It allows you to come in here, take off the background if it has one. And then if you go into, I believe it's duotone, that allows you to make it a different color. So I could change a black image to like a purple color. Okay, so that's with the duotone. And then there's other things that you can do down here with these added apps and markups. So that's under the effects in the edit image. The adjust, right? So here we can adjust the white balance, the light, the contrast, the brightness, the highlights, the color, right? So you can do all these things. You can adjust the texture, the sharpness, the clarity. Oh, that was scary. I think a bird just ran into my window. So you can do all sorts of things there where you can edit that image just like you would on your phone or any other photo edit. You can also do auto adjust, which will just auto adjust that photo based on what it thinks would make it look best. Okay. And then the last one that we talked about was the crop. That allows you to change the size of that image. So if you're like, man, I wanted it to look different or whatever, you can crop that image down. You can also rotate it here. So if you wanted to rotate that image, you could do it that way. There's another way to rotate the image as well, which I'll show you here in a minute. Oops. We're going to take that back to 0. There we go. All right. We're going to cancel that. So there's all of the things that you can do under the edit image. If we wanted to flip it, So maybe we wanted it to be the mirror image for whatever reason, like on your open house signs, if you were creating open house or for sale signs with an arrow or something, we'd want it flipped for the backside. So here you can go flip horizontal and it just flips that picture around. So now it's facing the other direction. Obviously, you wouldn't really want to do that with your listing photos because now the house is going to look different than it does when they show up. But you can do that with different things. You can also flip it vertical. So vertical or horizontal. Here is if you wanted to add a border to that image. If you wanted to animate the image, we just click on that. We can create the animation where it's gonna, this would be, you're really gonna not use animation for flyers and such, but you might use it for like a presentation, like that open house or the buyer presentation that Jonathan was talking about. You could animate it so that as you move from one slide to the other, that it blurs in or it wipes in, or it just creates that animation as you go through the presentation. Okay. Position of that photo, right? So again, same thing as with this black block. We can move it forward, backward, all the way to the front, all the way to the back. We can align it to the page, either top, center, bottom. So if I said, hey, we want it aligned to the bottom of the page. So see, it took that and set it against the bottom edge. If we wanted it on the top, now it takes that picture and puts it on the top. And maybe we wanted it aligned on the right. So it moves that photo over just a little bit. So now it's not as pretty as it was before. If I'm like, oh, that's ugly, we just hit undo and it'll undo those changes that we just did. So that the photo covers the full space again. And then back to where I started on this, we have this transparency marker here. This is going to fade that photo out. It's going to make it more transparent so that it just fades more in the background. So see, now you can see that black box and how that lines up in here. Okay, so that's how you can adjust that transparency on it. Any questions about editing the text or the photos? All right, fabulous. Here again, these are just text boxes. So this is just where we'd come down here. You could edit the address. We just click on it. If you double click, then that's how you get your cursor in there. So maybe it's 153 Anywhere Street. Maybe it's got 3 bedrooms. Okay, so you can do all sorts of things. This little box here was the same color as the other one. So now I want to change that color. So I'm just going to hit the color, click on it, and then hit the color dot here at the top. And then I'm going to say, hey, I want it the same as the black. Okay, if we wanted to change out these photos, we would just come over here to upload. And we would hit upload files. And we wait patiently for my computer to do what it's been asked to do. And then here it's going to take us to a browse screen so that we can find the photo that we wanted to upload. And then you're just going to drag it over to that photo. I'm just going to hit cancel. We're going to add this little picture of the dog there. So again, I'm just going to click and drag it over and see how it pops it into that photo border. That's when you can let go, and then it'll add that photo in. And then we're going to have some flowers for this bottom photo. So there's how we would edit that flyer up, new listing, right? So whatever you wanted to do there. Any questions about editing one of their templates so far?
Can you put like a QR code on that flyer?
Yeah, absolutely. So Canva is even more fabulous now. So it has this, so we just have really touched on uploads, this brand, that's how you access your brand assets if you wanted it. The text right here is how you would edit text. So if we wanted to add a text box, we just come in here, you hit add text box, or you could click heading or body or whatever, and it would add those. So if I was like, oh man, I want to add a new subheading, I would just click here. We'll get to that QR code here in a minute. And we just click on it. It's going to add it somewhere. There we go. There's our subheading. So it adds it in that text. So we don't have to worry about it. If we wanted to add a text box, you can do it there. Or check this out. It's got all of these text templates already set up. So if you're like, oh, that's cool. And remember, Crown is, you got to pay for it. No Crown is free. So if you're like, oh, forget this new listing. We're going to take that out, delete, delete. So I just clicked on it and hit delete, and I want to add this in there. I'm going to click on that. It's going to add that because I like that text look better. There we go. And then I'm going to shrink it down just a little bit just by hitting that corner. And then I'm going to move it over here. Now I want to edit it. So I'm just going to click on it. Oops, I clicked on the bottom one and hit new. Listing. Okay. So, don't forget, I haven't forgotten about the QR code yet. I just got distracted with the text there. So you can do that. These items, it's 2 text boxes that they've put together and they've grouped together. Okay. So these things can't be moved or resized independently of each other. If I resize one text box, it resizes the other. And if I move one, it moves the other. If I don't want to do that anymore, I can hit this ungroup button. So I've just clicked on it. If I hit ungroup, now it turns it back into 2 separate text boxes. So now I could take this one and move it around independent of the other one. So maybe I wanted the new lined up with the listing. And then if you're like, well, now I want them grouped again, because now I want to move them over here. What we do is we just click on the screen and drag. Oh, that didn't work. Let's see. There we go. Oh, no. All right, hold on. Get it. All right, so I just click and dragged over. See that little box? So I pass over the 2 things that I want it to be included with, although it's pulling in this other background as well, but that's okay. For example, nope, it's not going to work. Okay, hold on. I'll show you how to regroup them down here. So I'm going to, so see if I stop here, it's got those 2 purple boxes around the start from and the 35,000. And if I continue to go over, now it's picked up the box for the black, and I don't want the black to be part of my group. So I'm just going to back off. I could probably do that. We'll try that here in a minute with new listing. So now I'm just going to hit the group button. And now I've put these 2 things together. So if I move one, it moves the other. And if I resize this, because we can resize our fonts this way as well, it resizes both. So let's see if I can pick up just these 2 boxes here without getting the black involved. Oh, no. All right. So in order to do that, what I would want to do is now I'm going to take and move this one over a little bit more. Let's see if I can get it to pick up this way. This is why I don't ungroup things. Nope. All right. So the other option is I'm going to take this black box. I'm going to eliminate the black box for a second. So I'm just resizing that black box so that I can pick up these 2, so that I can group these 2 back together. Then I'm going to click back on that black box and drag it back down to where it was, or wherever I decide I want it. Okay, so that's how you group things together so they become units. You can edit them as far as the words independently of each other, but it's all going to move together as one unit. All right, so there's text. Okay, there's all sorts of different options you can do there. All right, going back to elements, that's the next one. So we talked about uploads, brand, text, elements. Here, if we come to elements and hit QR, it gives us this QR code generator. So we're just going to click on that. So if we're wanting to add a QR code to it, we just go to elements, QR code generator. This is the QR code by Canva. So all we have to do is hit use app. Here's where you would put the URL. So maybe you went to your Realty One Group website, found the listing on there, pulled that QR code up, or maybe it's got, takes them to another specific site where they have to register, but maybe we're just going to take them to our Realty One Group with that listing. We would go to Realty One Group, we would search our own website, find that listing, copy the URL, and then paste it in here. Hold on. Poor computer. The problem is I left my computer on all night, so it didn't get to sleep last night. Now it's really tired. All right. So maybe we just want it to go to our property search website. We're going to hit copy, coming back, oops, to the listing flyer. I'm going to paste that URL in there. You can right click to copy and paste too. So if you don't know, R is command copy, for copy it's command C, and to paste is control or command V. And then you're going to hit, once you have the URL in there, you can customize it here, right? The background color, the foreground color. This is of the QR code and the margins. And then you're going to hit, I don't want any margins. So I'm going to take those away, and then I'm going to hit generate code. Now it's created that QR code. As somebody scans, it's going to take them to that website. And then you can, again, we can just shrink that down wherever we want it. And then you can click and drag it anywhere on that flyer that you would like it.
Sorry, Amy,
So
I
good.
kind of missed that a little bit. So Canva has its own QR code?
Canva has its own QR code generator.
Oh, generator. I never knew that.
Yep. So if you go to elements and then type in QR code, it'll say, do you want to open the QR code generator? You hit yes, and then that's where you put in this your URL, and you can adjust it.
Oh, awesome. Good.
Yep.
Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. If we wanted to change the color, so maybe we're like, oh, we don't like black, we want to change that color. It doesn't give me my colors from my branding, which is sad. So I'd have to refine them or go back and look at the code and then come back and paste that code in there. So if I wanted it to be like gold and white, I could do that here. Okay. The other things that you find on Elements, besides that QR code, is we have so many options. So here you've got graphics, photos, videos, shapes, audio, frames, mock-ups, right? So many things. So maybe I wanted, like if we go to graphics, let me take away the search. Here we go. Hold on, now it's having to think. All right, so here I'm in that, so we've got frame, lines, arrows, circles, rectangles, QR code is there, heart, banner, phone, sun, right? So all sorts of things in there. So here's those graphics. We can say, hey, I want to see all the graphics. And remember, anything with a crown you have to pay for. I have the pro version. Anything without that is 100% free. So for years, I just worked off the free stuff. You could probably, let's see. Oh, no. It won't let you. All right. You can add gradients. You can add stickers. If you're like, I want to add the cool number 3 up here, I could search graphics. All right, let's go, instead of a cool number 3, let's go with dog. So give me just a second. D-O-G. Okay, we're just going to search dog. And then it gives me options like, do you want dog outline, dog silhouette, dog paw, right? Otherwise, it's just going to pull them all up together. So these are all the options. Again, like these dogs here and these footprints are free. They've got so many things on there. Like it's just, we'll scroll forever on that search. And I'm inside of graphics right now. So if I go back to the beginning of Elements, by just hitting that little back bar. So now I'm just in the blanket of Elements. So now if I hit dog here, it's going to search that dog under all the elements. So you'll be able to see they've got the graphics with dogs. They've got photos of dogs you can use. They've got videos of dogs. They've got audios of dog barking loudly, right? So all sorts of things. If I wanted like a circle, I could search circle. And then here it's got shapes that are circles, graphics, photos that are circles. So maybe I wanted to like, let's see. photos of circles, right? All sorts of fun things. Frames. So these frames are like photo frames. So if I added this photo frame, that's a circle, then I could now go to photos. Well, let's go back to find that dog. And I'm going to click dog photos. Now I'm just messing up my flyer for you guys. And I'm like, oh, look at these cute dogs with the flowers. So I'm going to click on that and drag it over here to the frame. And now see, it fills that frame with that photo. Instead of if I would have just added the photo without the frame, it just adds it in there as the rectangular photo. So I added it with that frame. So that's how you did that. So I could search photo frame. Oops, I missed an O. Oh, it pulled up frames. Oh, because I'm inside a photo. So if I go graphics. There. So anything with this like landscape in the middle, those are all ones that you can fill in with your own photos. So you can make those photos any shapes that you want there. So that's the elements there. You can add borders to things. You can add lines. You can add dots. You can add pictures. All sorts of things that are in here is just stock images that are free to use. They have an AI image generator. I haven't played with this before. Let's mess with that because that looks like fun. Enter 5+ words to describe. P-U-P-P, puppies playing with a red ball. In fact, I'm going to go black puppies playing with a red ball. Oh, look at that. AI image generator. Not so sure about this one. These dogs are kind of weird looking, but we're going to take that and throw it in here. There we go. It's kind of got some feet that are a little out of control up here that don't belong. So watch out on that image generator. And then we're going to hit go back. It looks like I maybe get like 500 credits per month. When I hit the generate image, it says I've used one of 499 credit and it's at the end of the month. All right. Oh, look, it's got different styles like ducks. All right. There you go. So that's under elements. So let's see, we've covered uploads, brand, text, elements. Design is where you find those templates. So here's where you could change up. Here's your template style here. And then there's more like this. So you could change that up. If I'm like, oh, I don't like this one, change it out with this one. It's going to add template as a new page or replace current page. I'm just going to replace the current page with it. So now it replaced everything that I did with this new one because I decided I didn't like that old one. But here's where you find all those design templates. Here you can, if we click on template style, it'll change it up. So here we're just shuffling up the colors. So see how it's changing the colors on that flyer for us. So it's taking the colors that were already there and it's just shuffling them because I'm just clicking over here on that color palette. Okay, so you can change it up a little bit. Okay, so that's the templates. If you wanted to draw on your image, that's this draw button here. So that's going to open up the option where you could like mark up or make circles or draw on it. So we just click what kind of pen we wanted. We would click the color that we wanted. Make it gold. And then you could also click how fat you wanted it, the width and the transparency. And then when I come over here, I can draw here with my chisel tip pen and see how the transparency is there. So if I wanted to change that transparency, we just make it more solid. So now when I draw, it's a solid line. So that's draw there. Let's see here. Any questions so far on any of that? Once you've created your image, then we just come over here to the share button in the upper right-hand corner. Hold on, I got to move my chat box over because it's over the share. All right, so here you can share it with people. You can get a collaboration link so that you can share it with people. So we could share it with a certain team, or anyone that has the link can access the design, right? And then you can say, can they edit it? Can they view it? Can they comment on it? And then you would copy the link and then send them over that link. The other thing that you could do is you could say, hey, I want this as a brand template. So we would just click this button here to save it as a brand template. You could go into presenter view here, which is where it pops up a separate screen to be able to present like a slideshow. You can download it. That's what we're going to do most of the time. We're going to download. You can choose right here from this drop down. You just click on it and it'll give you options. Hold on, I got impatient and I clicked twice. So do we want it as a JPG? Do we want it as a PNG file? Do we want it as a PDF? PDF for print, SVG for design, web design and animations? Is it an MP4 video or is it a GIF? Short clip, no sound, right? So you've got so many options there. It tells you what they're best for. For most of the time, if you're going to be posting it on your social media, you want to go like a PNG image. You can adjust the size of it here, of the size of the file. If you wanted it to have a transparent background, we would check this box here. I would never compress the file to a lower quality. If you save your download settings, then the next time you go to share it and download, it'll have the same settings to pull up. And then you hit download. And it's going to download this image as a PNG called listing flyer. It's going to save that to my computer. So I'll find it in my downloaded files. Okay. If I go back to share, here we have share on social. I would never share directly from Canva to your social media platforms. The reason being is that Facebook does not like it when you take things from one platform and share it on their platform. It comes up with a different ID on it, and it will bury it in your feed. They would rather you create the image, download it, and then upload it to their site. So just a little tidbit there. Or we can go into the print with Canva. So maybe we wanted some listing flyers and we were going to print those with Canva. We would just click that print with Canva button. The other way we could have gotten here is instead of under share, we could have just hit the print with Canva button. Okay. Do you want flyers? Do you want envelopes, right? How do you want this? Do you want it on a canvas? Like there's so many options of things that you can do. So you're like, it's suggested that I just get a flyer because that's what this form was. So we're going to hit that flyer button. While that's loading here on the top next to the name, this is if I shared it with somebody, it would tell me who I've shared it with right here next to the circle with the A. And see how I've got a red highlight around my circle? That's because I'm currently in this image. If the other person opened it up, I'd be able to see that they were in here too, just like on Google Docs, if you've shared it with somebody and we're both in there at the same time. Here's what images do you want to print? Do you want the front and back? Do you want page 1, page 2? Do you want just page 1? How do you want it? So there's no back right now. You could go in there and select one, right? Which is going to be the back. It's none. I'll show you how to do a second page here in a second. What kind of paper do you want it on? Standard paper, premium paper, deluxe paper. We're going to go, I want it on premium paper. Do you want a matte finish? Do you want a gloss finish or an uncoated? That's a natural texture for a softer and warmer look. You can even write on it. The matte finish is low sheen with vibrant colors. You can still write on it, and the gloss is a shiny finish that makes colors pop you can't write on it. We're gonna go gloss just for kicks. For 50 flyers, gloss finish premium paper, it's $57 for 50 flyers. If I had kept it standard paper, let's just look at the difference here. I'm gonna add a, well, let's just keep it with no back for now. I'm gonna go with just an uncoated natural finish. That dropped it down to $53 for 50 flyers. So they're gonna print them and send them off to you. There we go. Happiness guarantee. They're going to add, I think, a little bit of shipping to it, but we'll see here in a second. If I wanted 100 flyers, let's look at what that is. 100 flyers, the price drops at 100. See, it's only $77 for 100 flyers. So it's like 77 cents per flyer. If I added a second page, so back, so there it'd be printed on both sides of the page. That's all right. It didn't update the price. So I'm thinking, all right, let's come back to our image and I'm going to add a back page to it. So to add a back page, we just scroll down, see where it says add a page. Click that, add a page. And then it's just black and maybe we want it to look different. So I've got this page highlighted. I'm going to come up here to design. And I'm just going to select another one of these just for kicks. So now I've got a front page and a back page. If this were me and I was creating a flyer, the front page would probably be the property flyer. And then I'd have it set up with a template of my own for the back of the page that would be like my value proposition that I would offer somebody looking to buy or sell a home. Right? Or continue your property search here or whatever it would be, but it'd have something on it. So now I'm going to go back to print with Canva. Let's see now that I've got two different sides, if it changes the price or if the price is the price for two sides. All right, so now I've got front page. It saved my settings from what I had last time. Now I'm going to select back page. It's page 2. There we go. Oh, it stays the same. So it's still $77, even if they print it on back side and front side. I'm going to hit continue and it's got free delivery. So it's $77 for 100 flyers printed on both sides. Super economical, in my opinion, for a two-sided flyer. It says there's an issue. We can have them automatically fix it. We automatically fix it. And it's going to adjust the edges for printing. And then you can download the PDF to do a final check. Once you're done, you hit add to cart. So that's how easy it is to print things from Canva, how easy it is to create things from Canva. If I was going to do any questions before I get rid of this beautiful creation that I made. All right, to go back to the front of Canva, we're just going to click on, I'm going to click on these three little lines over here to open the menu. And then maybe I just want to go back to my home page. I'm just going to click on the word Canva. Let's see here. I'm just double checking because it's 11:01. Okay, I'm good. Just want to make sure I wasn't overlapping on another meeting. All right, so this takes me back to the home page. It talks about things that you may want to try here at the top while it's loading. What kind of post do you want to make? Most of the time when I do a social media post, I just do it square. So most of the time I do it like as a social media. So let's see, what will you design today? I'm going to click here, social media. And then it's got, you know, you can scroll through some templates or whatever, but I usually just go with like Instagram post square for most of my social media posts. I don't know what Abby uses, but that's usually what I do when I do a social media post because then it works on all platforms. So I just clicked on that Instagram square and that's just going to bring up a blank design. waiting patiently. Try not to click on anything. So you can create your content in here too. So, like on the exactly what to say, quotes and sayings that we're using on a weekly basis, they're in the Foxhole group. I've actually gone in there and created them, from the book. And then I come in here to notes and I add notes to the page. So bottom kind of left side of the page, there's notes. Here I can add notes. So I can actually go in there and write, write what should be posted. And then all I have to do when I go to put this on my social media is copy this, download this page, and then upload it into my social media. So it makes it really easy if you want to like sit down on a Sunday or a Monday and plan your content for the whole week. Makes it easy to be able to do so. If I wanted to, I can go to design here as well, right? So if I'm looking, I can look at all the social media designs. I can maybe let's try using this or that. So right, so now it's pulling the results for this or that type posts that I want to use. I wonder if you can filter out. Let's try filter. Oh, I was going to see if it would let you filter out to just the free ones versus the paid ones. Oh, look, I like this one and it's free, this or that, right? And then you can come in here. I could edit this words on it. So I could edit the words. I can edit the photos. So you can go in there and edit it, or you could just create it from scratch. And we would just do it the same way we did that flyer. Questions on this? Was this helpful, this training?
Yes.
Perfect. We're going to call this one this or that social media posts. I'm going to come back to I'm going to show you the homepage, how to move something into a folder real quick so you can organize your stuff. You're welcome, Jonathan. All right, we're going to click on Canva.
Thank you. It's very helpful.
Good, Eva. I'm so glad. All right, I'm going to show you how to move that into a folder. So when I'm back on the home page, so slow right now. I'm going to end up having to restart my computer in here in a minute. All right, it's got recent designs here. And I know that I could just created that this or that, and I didn't put it in my open house file, but maybe I wanted to put it in the listing file. So maybe I wanted it in there. All we have to do is once I find the post, I'm just going to click on the three little dots. I'm going to hit move to folder. And then I'm going to put it in my listing promo and then hit move to folder. So I just clicked on it. So now it'll move that design into that folder. So now if I go into my projects here on the left-hand side, and then I can go, hold on, we can click here for folders. And then we can find that listing promo. Remember, I was in this folder when I created the listing flyer, so it automatically put it in this folder for me, and then I just moved that post over. So now both those things are in there. So if I had a new listing and I had all my templates set up for that listing that, oh, I'm going to need a flyer and a postcard. Here's my social media post. I need a coming soon post. I need a new to market. I need a under contract. appraisal in, right? What social media posts or stories am I going to share along with this listing? I can pre-create all of that content in this folder. And then I know when I have a new listing, I'm just going to come in here on the first day that I've got that listing. Once I've got photos, I'm going to update all of these. And I would probably, what I would do is I would go back to projects. Hold on. I have my listing promo. I'm going to hit the 3 little dots on this folder. Will it let me do this? Oh, no, it won't. I thought maybe it would let me select a new one, but that's okay. What I would do is I would go add new. I'm going to go add new folder. I'm going to call it 123 Sample Street. For the name of the listing, I'm going to hit continue. Now I've got this new folder. I'm going to come into Listing Pro. Let's see if it'll let me do this. Hit those 2 things. Rename. Okay, I'm gonna, can I duplicate them very easy? 2 selected. No, all right, so you gotta do one, oops, I didn't mean to click on that. Hold on. All right, we hit the 3 little dots on each one. I'm gonna hit make a copy. That way my templates stay intact and I don't have to worry about my templates getting messed up. So I'm gonna make a copy of that one. And then I'm gonna scroll the next one and hit make a copy. All right, then it has copy. So now I'm just gonna go back, click on that box so that both of those are selected. I'm gonna hit the 3 little dots. I'm gonna hit move to a folder. Plug in that address. If I hadn't created a folder yet, I could just hit the create new folder here and it will create it. I would take me to that window to create the folder, but because I already created that new folder for the new listing, I'm going to take these copies, move them to that folder. And then that's going to take all of those in there so that then I can just go in that folder and all that folder is going to be is 123 Sample Street. In, out, and done so that I can go back and reference those or reuse those and create those from the beginning. I could have multiple listings going at the same time. So that's kind of how to navigate that window a little bit. Hopefully that was fun and helpful. You guys said it was. I'm going to wrap up because it's 11:10. So have a fabulous day. Next week, if you have any trainings you would like to see in the future, in the chat box, there's a link that you can click on to make recommendations for future trainings. But yeah, if anybody has any questions, you can reach out to me. I'll talk to you all soon.
Thank you.
Absolutely.